Here's why the traditional educational system, which I am a product of, is completely flawed. Here's what happens. If this is 0, this is 100. And this is our health. And this is our knowledge, which means when we're 0, our health is at our best. Our knowledge is at 0. And when on a long enough timeline we die, when we die, our knowledge is the best, our health is at 0. The traditional system tells us from 0 to 18, go to high school. Then from 18 through 22, you obtain your undergraduate degree. Then from 22 to about 25, you obtain your master's or a professional degree. Then from 25 to the average 65, you're supposed to get a job. And then from 65, the average death for males that I just read was 73 years old, which is crazy. Call it 75, which is only 10 years. You enjoy this magical retirement. Now think about it. We're going to give up 40, 50 years of our best for not even 10 years of our worst. And our main savings, if you have a good job, let's say you have a really good job and you're making 100 to 400,000 a year. Now the government is going to take about half, so you're going to pay 50% in tax, but that's a good wage earning salary. What do you have for savings? So let's say you're going to have your 401k. By the time you're 65, let's say you're doing really well. Let's say you have $1 million. Now remember, that is pre-tax money. So when you take it out, you're going to pay 50% in tax, depending on your state, roughly. So it's pre-tax. Then you're going to have your main house that you live in. Let's say it's worth a decent house. Let's say you've paid it off. It's $1 million. Now, the main house that you live in, it is a liability. It is not an asset. Anybody that tells you your main house is an asset, they're lying to you. It does absolutely nothing to bring you cash flow. So, we've done everything right. You went to school. By the way, this school between the undergrad and the master's, that's going to cost you $200,000 to $300,000 just to obtain. Assuming mom and dad paid for it, otherwise you'd be starting your life with a huge amount of debt from the school. It's typically not going to pencil. So the traditional system, if you follow it and you're the best success, you're going to be 65, you're going to have $1 million in your 401k, which half of it is going to be taxed. And then you have your liability, which is your main house, $1 million, let's say paid off. And maybe you have 100 or 200,000 life savings in cash if you've been disciplined enough. Absolutely flawed. There is a way to live today and plan for tomorrow, but it's through bankability and self-compounding assets. You cannot save yourself to retirement because this is what it looks like, and that's only available for the top 1%.